Oh, hi.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is CKTCHAOTIC. Today we'll be reading the Remarried Empress episode 37, 38 to 39. Let's get started. Recap time. Alright guys, it has been such a long while since I last read the Remarried Empress episode 36. So I have to kind of process everything right now. Okay, so this person here is Grand Duke Kaufman. He is actually visiting the Emperor and Empress to pretty much kind of sign a treaty so they can trade and so on and so forth. Of course, the Empress received a love potion for her birthday. And of course, she was very skeptical, very hesitant about this love potion. She doesn't know if this is real or this is like a hoax, like a joke, like a gag gift. So she kind of approached Grand Duke Kaufman, and the reason being is because Grand Duke Kaufman went to a mage school, a magic school, and he is like top of his class. So she wants to reach out to him to see, hey, is this love potion legit? Of course, he said yes, love potions do exist, but he cannot confirm whether this love potion is authentic. He did offer that, hey, I will, take this, I will test out this potion firsthand to see if it's real. And of course, the Emperor's like, no, that's dangerous, And he's like, no, don't worry, I have an antidote, I'll be fine. He did give her some fair warning that if he take the little bit of this potion, there's a high chance that, he will fall in love with the first person he sees, which in that room, it is the Empress. So she's like, okay, that's fine. Suddenly, the Emperor walked in and was like, what are you two doing in here? Was super jealous. I don't know why. And he was like, hey, Grand Duke Kaufman, why aren't you greeting me? So, of course, Grand Duke Kaufman had to turn around. He was red. We don't know. And, the Emperor was very persistent on turn around right now. Were you guys making out? And of course they weren't. But the moment Grand Duke Kaufman turned around, boom, he is crying. We don't know why he's crying. So we're about to find out on episode 37. Let's get started. Okay. He is blushing so much, and the Emperor seems to be very shocked. Like, what? Mm. It's lovely to see you. You look dashing today, Your Majesty, although you always do. Oh no! His Majesty is the Grand Duke's Kaufman first time seeing, so love at first sight. Retreat. Huh? What? I don't know what kind of prank you're pulling on me, Grand Duke, but don't push your luck. Did he run away? Yes. Are you okay? Please don't come any closer. That's pretty embarrassing, honestly. Are you perhaps feeling jealous of me? Grand Duke? Please call me Kaufman. Damn it. Pretend you didn't hear that. It's more potent. Ugh. The potion is more potent than I expected right now. I love you so much that I am willing to cause a misunderstanding with your husband as a diversion to protect you. I am very confused, but okay. Or at least that's how it feels. When I look at you, I can only focus on your lips, neck, and your beautiful eyes, and the sound of your breathing. What perfume do you use? It has a wonderful aroma. It really does seem to be quite potent. As you can see, I am a mess right now, so please leave the room. I'll come back to my senses once I'm no longer intoxicated by your scent. Then I can return to my room and drink the antidote. Very well. Okay, so he's not really into the emperor. He's into the empress. Click. Is that what it's like when someone loves you? Do they say things that are like that to you every day? I wonder what it would feel like if there were someone who couldn't think straight because of me. There is Prince Henry. The Remarried Empress, episode 37. The next morning, he has clearly dressed up to see me. I only sent the maid to check how he was doing. He's teary-eyed. How are you feeling? Can we speak in private, Your Majesty? I wanted to see you. I want to see you so much. Please, don't pay any attention to what I'm saying. Were you unable to take the antidote? I took it, but it didn't work. What? Do you have another antidote that you could take by any chance? The antidote you took may not have been suitable for this potion. There is no chance of the antidote being unsuitable. How can you be so sure? Your antidote wasn't made especially for the love potion after all. Unless it was created just to counter the effects of the love potion. I was the one who sent you the gift. You sent me the love potion? I didn't expect it to be this effective. I sent it because I felt frustrated on your behalf. Why? Are you referring to the Emperor's relationship with Rashta? I know it was a foolish thing to do, but I didn't like seeing you suffer. The Grand Duke. I'm very sorry, but I should go. Being in Your Majesty's presence is too much of a distraction. My attention is focused only on you, so it's difficult for me to talk to you, Your Majesty. Are you going back to your room? Will you ask me to stay? Oh. I should go. Breathe. What's wrong? Oh, this is intense. I think it's best that we don't see each other until the potion wears off. Step. Very well. What's going on? Are you done pulling pranks with the Grand Duke? I realized afterwards that I was probably tricked. What do you mean? Grand Duke Kaufman, he was blushing because of you, wasn't he? It looked like he started blushing the moment your eyes met. Don't you agree, Your Majesty? Huh? Prince Henry, I'd like to ask you for some advice. Could you spare a moment? What kind of document is this? It's blank. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I thought this might provide an appropriate excuse to meet you. You don't need to go to these links to meet me, Your Majesty. I don't want to do anything that would make you uncomfortable, my queen. I suppose you didn't actually come to ask me for my advice at all, and you came here just to meet me. Get away from me. That's not true. There is something I would like to discuss with you. Do you remember that a few days ago I told you that my brother is in poor health? Has his health deteriorated even further? It seems his condition deteriorated further right after he sent me that last letter. Since then, I received a subsequent letter, and it would appear that he is now gravely ill. If the Emperor of the Western Kingdom is critically ill, then this may have consequences for our empire too. It's also sad news for Prince Henry, and... Are you going to return to the Western Kingdom now? Not immediately, but I'll have to return before I get a letter notifying me of his passing, and I'll have to be there to listen to his final wishes. In that case, shouldn't you hurry back? It's at times like these that I realize you and I have different responsibilities. Your Majesty. Did you come out for a walk, Grand Duke Kaufman? Uh-oh. Yes. I wanted to get some fresh air and cool myself down. Then please enjoy your walk. We have some more things to discuss, so... Oh! Don't stand so close to her. Yikes. To be continued. Let's go. Don't stand so close to her. Oof. How strange. My queen was standing in front of me, but now there is a stranger standing between us. What are you doing? Being jealous. That intense crackle. Grand Duke Kaufman, Prince Henry, stop it. Both of you. The nudge. Grand Duke Kaufman. Your Highness. But this person is interrupting our parting. I apologize. Are you angry because I pushed him? I'm not angry. I'm... Associating with Prince Henry is not fitting for someone of your status, Your Majesty. Ooh. This is getting out of hand. Your Highness! Your Highness! Your Highness, I have received some urgent news which requires your immediate attention. What is it? Huh? You should go. Whoa, what? He went on his knee to kiss her hand. Okay, that's weird. We'll continue this conversation another time, my queen. Dash. Are you close to Prince Henry? I think he's an incredible person. Are you feeling jealous? I think so. I almost grabbed him by the collar earlier. You mustn't do that. I understand. It's somewhat fascinating for me to feel such an intense range of emotion. How does it feel? Have you never been jealous of anyone before? Have I ever been jealous of anyone? Perhaps. You're quick to admit it. I can be honest with someone who gave me a love potion because he felt frustrated on my behalf. Were you upset because of the love potion? I wouldn't say I felt upset because I have seen how much you're struggling, so it feels more like a bit of fun. Do I have to answer that? Since it seems you have never felt intense jealousy before, let me tell you how it feels. It feels like there's an invisible voice screaming from within my heart, and I am tempted by what it says. What is it saying? I can't tell you that. Why not? Because that invisible voice is warning me right now that I can't tell you how I really feel. I feel an incredible sense of fulfillment just from having these strong feelings towards you. But it also makes me feel very uneasy in many ways. It sounds like a bitter pill to swallow. When do the effects wear off? Oh. Which of the two do you prefer? What? What do you mean? Do you prefer Grand Duke Kaufman or Prince Henry? Why is he jealous? I must admit, I don't understand your question, Your Majesty. It was truly a sight to behold watching two foreigners squabble over the Empress. That was a misunderstanding, Your Majesty. Could you please be more mindful of your actions at a time like this? What do you mean, a time like this? Are you telling me that I should watch my behavior for the sake of your first child? My first child is a child of the Imperial family. That means it's also your child. No, it doesn't matter whether a mistress of yours gives birth to 100 babies or 1,000 babies. A child born to your mistress is no child of mine. True. Empress! Also, the news that Your Majesty is expecting your first child may be wonderful news to you, but it is not for me. What? After all, we all know that the child Rashta gives birth to will never become royalty. Even if you may feel otherwise, in 100 years, no, even in 10 years, nobody will even remember who that child is. Empress, you truly are utterly self-centered. I understand why you don't like Rashta, but how can you dislike an innocent child that hasn't even been born yet? What's wrong with that? If you consider me your husband... Oh, he did not just freaking punch the freaking emperor. Oh my gosh. Episode 38. What are you doing? Being jealous? At first, I was only interested in her, out of curiosity. It's like the Empress of the Eastern Empires made out of steel. She has a heart of ice. I wanted to find out what kind of person she really was. Her famously cold persona turned out to be just one one facet of her real personality. There were times when she would laugh like a young girl. Although there were other times when I felt sad because she would act so cautiously in front of others. Are you jealous of her? How could he say such a thing to her? He has some nerve to ask her that, when she was been putting up with everything he has done. If it were me, if I were the one standing beside her. So, what's the matter? Click. You received an urgent message. Is it from my brother? Huh? Walton III is in critical condition. We urge you to return to the palace as soon as possible. To be continued. His Majesty and His Highness aren't the closest of siblings, but even I'm concerned. And I'm just his cousin, so I'm sure His Highness must be feeling far worse. Though the order of the succession is irrefutable, and there is a huge gulf between your highness and the next in line for the throne, you should return home immediately. Yes, that is what I must do, and I must listen to his final wishes. Should I tell the Emperor Sovieshu officials that you will be returning? I suppose you should. And what about the recipient of your letters? McKenna. What are my chances if I ask for her hand in marriage? Sorry? Never mind. The Remarried Empress, episode 39. Pow! Wow. Stop it. What's wrong, Your Majesty? Point. Lower your swords. This is tense right now. I said lower them. Lower your swords. There's no need to worry. Magic is my specialty, so I can attack even from this distance. Cackle. I said lower your swords. Given your reaction, Steph, it seems that you, at least, must harbor feelings for the Empress. I am simply defending her on the grounds of common decency. Asking your wife to look favorably on a child born out of wedlock does not seem right to me. Out of wedlock, Rashta is an official mistress. Ah, so does the Emperor of Loot stay true to just one woman even if he's locked in a marriage of convenience? If so, then I'll chalk this up to cultural differences. I've heard that it's common for Lupton noble men to keep harems full of beautiful women that they like. I don't know why you acted so rashly, but I cannot trust your judgment at all if you're someone who is so easily led astray by your emotions. I will have you thrown in prison, as I wouldn't want you to lose face. But I will have to reconsider whether a trade deal with Loot is a sensible way forward. Grand Duke, about what happened? Please don't apologize. This happened because I wasn't able to keep my emotions in check. Grand Duke. Step. Sovieshu will also need some time to calm down, so I'll wait until tomorrow to talk to him. Your Majesty! I wish Grand Duke Kaufman did end up falling in love with Your Majesty. Then His Majesty will finally realize your worth. Of course, I do feel sorry for using the Grand Duke for this reason. Right now, I love you so much that I'm willing to cause a misunderstanding with your husband as a diversion to protect you. Don't stand so close to her. If you consider me your husband, Queen! Queen, is something wrong? Coo! The next morning. It's unusual for you to visit me so early in the day. I have something I want to discuss with you. Of course, you do. You only visit me when you have something to say. Leave us. Click. I wanted to talk to you about the trade deal with Loot. Are you certain you wish to reconsider it? I'm not sure why. As I'm leading on the negotiation around the trade deal, it makes sense that I would ask. So did you come to convince me that we should continue our trade negotiation? Just think about the potential benefits that such a deal could open up for the Empire. How do you know if it will benefit the empire or not? Result in unintended consequences. Because I've spent some time looking into it. Trading with Wa is likely to spark the curiosity of both commoners and nobles. Curiosity alone does not result in money changing hands. The nobles will be willing to spend some money to satisfy their curiosity. And once they have set things in motion, then it will be easier for commoners to buy exotic items from loot. The distance between the two continents is tremendous. Will the profits offset the losses we incur by traveling such vast distances? We have to make sure that they do. So ultimately, things are uncertain. I suffered a blow to my face yesterday. Aren't you even going to ask me how I'm doing? How are you feeling, Your Majesty? Well, I'm not sure. You look fine to me. No, I'm talking about the trade deal with loot. If you're worried about incurring a loss, I can look into the numbers and... No, that's not the problem either. Then what are you concerned about, Your Majesty? Are the potential benefits that you mentioned benefits for the Empire, or are you thinking about your new lover? Your Majesty. Which is it? I believe there has been a misunderstanding, Your Majesty. Even if I did want a lover, well, you're simply being childish. Childish? You took on a mistress and made sure she accompanied you in every palace event. So I don't know why you're trying so hard to interfere with my love life. Interfere? I suggest you keep an eye on Rashta's love life, not mine. Slam. How can you say such a thing? A mistress is a mistress, but you are the Empress. To be continued. Alright guys, that wasn't a huge cliffhanger, which I'm pretty okay with, because leaving the fact that episode 36, it was a tremendous cliffhanger as to why Grand Duke Kaufman was crying. But we did find out that Grand Duke Kaufman do sincerely care about the Empress because he gave her that love potion, and of course this intense feeling is still lingering and they don't know when the potion is going to be worn off. Other than that, Prince Henry has to return back home because his brother is passing away or is very ill, and so it's gonna, we haven't really seen Rashta a lot. You know, we hear her name, she's got mentioned, but it's mainly about the Empress the past few episodes. But alright guys, if you guys enjoy my webtoon reading, please feel free to subscribe, leave a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.